1947, Paradise Valley recovered UFO. This is another case where a UFO disc crashed, this time in Paradise Valley, north of Phoenix, Arizona, in 1947. The craft was 36 feet in diameter, and two humanoid bodies were retrieved, one sitting inside and the other halfway out of the hatch. In January 1987, Timothy Good spoke to former businessman and private pilot Selman E. Graves, who witnessed part of the recovery operation with two friends during a rabbit hunting trip on a Saturday morning. In early October 1947, the incident took place at Cave Creek, Graves told Good, in the northwest section of Paradise Valley, on property owned by his friend Walt Sawyer, whose son was Graves' brother-in-law. Graves arrived at the house with four others, expecting to be met by Sawyer, who was to join them on the hunting trip. When we arrived that morning, Sawyer and his wife were away. He'd been living in the basement and had just completed an upstairs section, so we made ourselves at home. He came back about 20 minutes later and was kind of distressed to find us there, which was unlike him. He told us that we couldn't go due west of there, that it wasn't a good time to hunt there, and that the Air Force had restricted the area, that if we fired our guns in that direction, we could hit someone, and so forth. We told him we were interested in going to the Gojon mine, at right angles to what was the Cave Creek Road. This place today is called Carefree. It didn't exist then, and Cave Creek was just a couple of small shacky homes. Graves and two others from the hunting party went ahead on horseback, leaving Sawyer and two other men at the house. We said we'd meet them at the River Road, which was just at right angles, and his property sat on the corner there. Graves recalled. There were some mine shafts, what you might call an outcropping, and a small hill, and we went up there and the three of us could look back and see everything that was taking place. From this vantage point, you could see Sawyer's house, and I could see the corral very clearly, and his water tank, and so you had perspective there as to size. And there was a large, I can best describe it as, a large aluminum dome-shaped thing there, which was roughly the size of the house. It was measured to be 36 feet in diameter. We could see that there were pitched buildings, tents, and men moving about. We at that time didn't have any idea what we were looking at. We thought it might have been an observatory dome, except why would they have it down there, on that piece of ground? We didn't leave there until probably about 10 to 10:30 at night, so we were actually around there a good 12 hours. Graves said. The three men later met up with the others at Sawyer's house. The others had bypassed us on the road and went on up to the Gojon mine. We never went to the mine at all, he explained. Selman Graves told me that he thought little about the incident until he read Scully's book years later and was astonished to learn of the Paradise Valley recovery. Later he met Silas Newton, one of Scully's informants, who provided further information. Supposedly there were a couple of small humanoids, about 4.5 feet tall, that were reported to have been there, said Graves. What I tied that in with was Sawyer's great anxiety about our going near the deep freeze. It was abnormal. I expect that probably what happened was that Sawyer, an ex-military man, was the first one to see this object and notify the authorities. If you want to make a conjecture, perhaps they thought, jeepers, what are we going to do with these bodies? How are we going to keep them? My brother-in-law said that he saw afterward a vehicle and wondered if it was part of what we had viewed, not knowing what it was. In this military flatbed truck going from the Cave Creek Road, south, which at that time would have been the most logical was for them to get out of there. It seems to me that it would have had to have been something to do with the military or Air Force. There wasn't anything else, so I presumed that that was actually sections of the object being trucked out. The cover-up, the lengths to which the authorities went to literally cover up the landing site, are quite remarkable. The federal government sponsored a project through the state. Subsequently, the state came in and told the county area of what was going to be Carefree that they had to locate some satisfactory spot for refuse disposal, and what they did was take the site of the landing and dig it up with a bulldozer. The most convincing evidence that Scully's claims are fundamentally sound has been provided by the Canadian government scientist Wilbert Smith, who stated in a 1950 top-secret document that the subject of flying saucers was classified higher than the H-bomb, and that their modus operandi is unknown, but concentrated effort is being made by a small group headed by Dr. Vannevar Bush. Smith's informant was Dr. Robert Sarbacher, a consultant to the Research and Development Board, and in his handwritten notes made after the interview, Smith recorded the following, dated September 15, 1950. Smith, I have read Scully's book on the saucers, and would like to know how much of it is true. Sarbacher, the facts reported in the book are substantially correct. Smith, then, the saucers do exist. Sarbacher, yes, they exist. Smith, do they operate as Scully suggests on magnetic principles? Sarbacher, we have not been able to duplicate their performance. Smith, do they come from some other planet? Sarbacher, all we know is, we didn't make them, and it's pretty certain they didn't originate on Earth. Smith, I understand the whole subject is classified. Sarbacher, yes, it is classified 2 points higher, even than the H-bomb. In fact, it is the most highly classified subject in the U.S. government at the present time. Smith, may I ask the reason for the classification? Sarbacher, you may ask, but I can't tell you. My take. This was around the time when the U.S. military realized that they could bring down the UFOs with certain direct radar beams. This case doesn't have too much to go on. Still, it's very interesting. Resources, above top secret, Timothy Good, 1988.
Don't forget to sign up for our Patreon page. Members get early access to videos, ad-free, and you can see content you can't see anywhere else. We have an exciting announcement. We'll be doing a monthly giveaway. All you have to do is like and comment on our videos for the chance to win a variety of prizes, including hats, shirts, and more. The more you like and comment, the greater your chances. Oh, and subscribing doesn't hurt either. What are you waiting for? Smash that like button. You can get free stuff.